I'd like to call the regular board meeting of the Huron Valley Schools of March 18th, 2024 to order. Secretary Pastana, could I have a roll call, please?
Absolutely. I am present. Ms. Grzymkowski.
Here.
Mr. Dimick.
Here.
Ms. Ryan.
Here.
Ms. Dodd.
Here.
Ms. Cotter.
Here.
And Mr. Wiseman.
Here.
Present and accounted for.
Thank you. We all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have in front of us the approval of the agenda as presented. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Do I have a second? All right. Member Dodd made the motion, seconded by Member Ryan. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, could I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Dodd.
Yes.
Ms. Ryan.
Yes.
I am a yes. Ms. Grzymkowski.
Yes.
Ms. Cotter.
Yes.
Mr. Dimick.
Yes.
And Mr. Wiseman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next on the agenda is items from the board president. As always, thank you for attending the Huron Valley Board of Education meeting. As always, we welcome our HVS community's input and comments. A public comment segment will be available for 15 minutes, which include both action and non-action items during Section 3 of the agenda. Additional comments will take place during Section 7 of the agenda unless the comment is related to an item that will be voted on. Those public comment or citizens participation forms are in the back. If anyone has any comments, you can fill one out and bring it to our Ms. Cadell over here in the pink sweater. So with that, items from the board president, I just have one quick one. I do want to thank my fellow board members for last Monday and Tuesday night in your participation as it related to our community forum. As I believe the public knows, this is something that we do in Huron Valley that provides an opportunity for our community to come and talk to us face-to-face, one-on-one, as it related to a variety of issues. I do want to recognize and thank all those that took that opportunity on Monday or Tuesday night to have that conversation. Where appropriate, I move that information on to Dr. Salah or staff, and those issues are being addressed. But I do want to recognize and show my appreciation for members of the board in your participation. This is something that we've done several times and find it to be very beneficial, not only for us to listen, but to the community itself as a whole. Next, recognition, Huron Valley highlights. Dr. Salah.
Thank you, Mr. President. And for this agenda item, I would ask Ms. Rothler to serve as the advocate.
Good evening. You may remember back in November, we recognized a dozen or so students who had been honored as commended students for the National Merit Scholarship. It was such an incredible feat for these students as they competed against more than 1.3 million students across the U.S. Out of those students, we had one Huron Valley student advance as a semifinalist. And although he was not chosen as a finalist this past month, we are very proud of him and wanted to recognize Bryce Cleesby of Lakeland's incredible achievement. These semifinalists are chosen based on their demonstrated work to support the 4 pillars of NHS scholarship, service, leadership, and character. And Bryce certainly meets all of these criteria. At Lakeland, Bryce is the president of their NHS chapter and serves as the community team chairperson. This school year, he has helped organize a Thanksgiving food drive, a holiday toy drive, and a holiday outreach to an area nursing home. Bryce also serves on the Huron Valley Coalition Board and the Village Fine Arts Association. While still considering his options, unless that's changed, we'll have to check in, he has narrowed down his college choices to U of M, go blue, or Oakland University, where he plans on studying psychology and to continue his education to become a physician's assistant. So if Bryce, along with his principal, Ms. Held, and our school board member, Amy Grzymkowski, can join me up here so we can properly recognize you for your achievements. Give this to Amy.
Bryce, it gives me a great honor to be able to present this to you. You are just an amazing individual. I have been fortunate enough to know you since you were in kindergarten, perhaps before that. But this is, we are bestowing this certificate to you as a Huron Valley Hero today, March 18th. And we are also giving you our special coin. This coin is a representation of how much we value you and how much you do embody our mission of inspiring students and building futures. So congratulations.
Updates on your career goals at this time? You still thinking about it?
I'm going to Oakland University next year.
Go Grizzlies!
Hold on one second if the boards have any comment or questions, and then we'll take a group photo.
Any comments, questions? Yes, Denise.
I just wanted to say congratulations to Bryce. You do a lot of good work for us at the coalition too, Bryce, and we just appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Well done, Bryce. That last comment that Member Pastana just made really is indicative of the type of person you are. Not only do you excel in the classroom, but you give back to the community, and that's what makes you special. And go Grizzlies, and I guess maybe since they're in the NCAA playoffs, right? Did that have anything to do with your choice? Because obviously U of M, Go Blue, didn't have much of a season this year. So, but congratulations, wise choice, and good luck in the future, and we'll keep tabs on you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to come up here? Can we get a group photo with the board, please?
Next on the agenda is superintendent's comments, superintendent's communication. Dr. Salah.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a couple items this evening. One is formally listed as Harbor High School. So I know we're going to queue up a video here, but before we do, a couple of other items. I just wanted to take a moment and congratulate our Board of Education for a number of awards that they've received recently. And you may or may not know this as individual board members, but I received a letter from the Michigan Association of School Boards regarding a number of designations that you have received for your consistent time, energy, effort in developing as board members. And so for a community to know and understand, these Board of Education members who you elected are not paid to sit in these seats. They do this out of service to their communities. They do this because they value high-quality educational experience for the children that attend our schools. And they, not only do they spend countless hours reviewing board packets and budgets and making instrumental decisions regarding the education of our children, but they attend a number of classes. And when they attend so many classes, they can reach certain distinctions. And so this evening, I wanted to share with our listening audience some of those distinctions. So Mr. Dimick has received two levels. One, the first level is a certified board member. Second level is an award of merit for the Huron Valley Schools. So congratulations to you, Mr. Dimick. I know you've put a lot of time in to get to that point. Miss Ryan, certified board member. Congratulations to you, Miss Ryan. Miss Dodd, a level 3 award of distinction award, which is, you just continue to work your way through and escalate up. Ms. Grzymkowski received a Level 1 Certified Board Member Award as well as a Level 2 Award of Merit. Congratulations to you, Ms. Grzymkowski. Ms. Pastana, who we're getting really high up here, has received a Level 4 Master Board Member Award. Congratulations to you, Ms. Pastana. I know you've been on the board for a number of years, attending many of these classes. And, Mr. Wiseman, of course, had to show everybody up. Level 5 Master Diamond Award to Mr. Wiseman. So congratulations to you, Mr. President.
I get less than nothing.
That's outstanding work. So can we just give a quick round of applause to our board? Congratulations. Second item I wanted to spend a little bit of time touching on this evening is our Bond 2024 initiative. I just want to thank those of you who are out there in the community who have been asking really good questions and sending them to our communications@hvs.org email address. We've done our best to answer those questions in a timely manner and/or refer you to our website where there's just a plethora of information. Please keep those questions coming. We want to make sure that we provide as much information as possible so that you can make an informed decision on or before May 7th. Couple things that I want to address specifically related to the bond. I think I'll call them some of the items that are circulating out there that maybe I could even go as far as to say misnomers. One in particular, I've heard a couple times, and I think I really need to address it, this question of saying that back in 2018, there was an exhaustive list of everything that was going to be done as a result of the 2019 bond, and why haven't we completed everything? You know, and with some folks, it's a question of feeling like they got left out, or that we glossed over certain projects. And I just think it's important to remind our community that the last time we passed a major infrastructure bond was 1996. That work was largely done in the late 90s. And then we passed a bond in 2019. When we went through that process back in 2018, our Building Futures Committee, which was a representative body of community members, parents, and staff, identified over $400 million worth of needs after engaging a construction manager firm in helping us to arrive at that list. The bond we passed was for $182 million, and we had COVID-19 in there, which escalated costs by about 40%. We were never going to get done with everything that we identified on that list. That list was more of a master plan that we knew of things that needed to be done, and we made tremendous progress towards accomplishing that list of items. And I'm excited about this upcoming bond because it's going to allow us to continue to make those improvements as we move forward with respect to the needs of the district. So just want to put that out there because I've had that conversation a couple times over the last couple weeks, and I think it's important to be stated again. And if you have specific questions, don't hesitate to reach out again at that communications@hvs.org. Second question that I've heard out there that I think needs some addressing relates to what specifically are we doing from an academic improvement perspective? And I think this is a confusing question, and our community needs a little bit of information regarding bond dollars. So when we talk about bond dollars having an impact on academic programs, it's by renovating, purchasing equipment, updating electrical, purchasing and updating our technology infrastructure, adding things like audio enhancement to all of our classrooms so all children can hear, purchasing furniture that is movable, that allows us to do project-based learning activities, cooperative learning, whole group learning, So when we talk about bond dollars, we're not talking about creating a new program with bond dollars. In fact, we can't use bond dollars to pay salaries. We can't use bond dollars to pay for curricular materials. We can use bond dollars to create spaces that allow us to enhance career technical education, STEM education, maker spaces. We can increase electrical output that allows us to offer some really comprehensive dynamic programming. But we're not talking about, hiring a teacher to come in and teach a class that we weren't offering before. And I think that gets a little confused, and I know school finance can be confusing. But basically, it's when you're working with the state and the feds, certain dollars can only be spent on certain things, and that's the situation that we're in when we talk about general fund dollars versus bond dollars. So again, I'm raising that because I've had both of those questions over the last couple of weeks. I think they're important to touch on. I'll continue to do that as we have board meetings. I just want to be transparent and put out there the kinds of questions that we're hearing from the community so that everybody has the same information and they can make informed decisions. So that said, my one formal agenda item is Harbor High School. And we had an opportunity to put together a nice video regarding what the heart of Harbor is. And I think this video does a great job illustrating the value of offering an alternative high school program within a school district. And so with that, if we can cue up the video.
I would not have completed high school. If Harbor was not an option, wouldn't have completed it. My name is Samantha Nichols, and I graduated from Harbor High School in 2018.
I kind of started at Harbor because I had a very difficult time connecting with my peers emotionally. My name is Bailey Duvall. I graduated in 2018. I was the salutatorian that year.
I started out at Lakeland, and I completed my freshman year at Lakeland. Got maybe a month or two into my sophomore year at Lakeland. There's too many people. My anxiety is not handling this very well.
I felt a lot like a fish in a school where there's 1,000 other fish.
I definitely feel like I fit in more at Harbor.
I was really scared to come to an alternative school. I struggled for months on the decision. Eventually, we got to a point where, he started to see how impactful the school had been on allowing me to open up, on allowing me to get that socialization that I never really had before with people who had very similar experiences to me. Not having Harbor would have been a struggle.
All right, so can anyone think of another way to say pretty? What's another word for pretty?
It was definitely more of a environment that I could relax a little bit and just focus on trying to graduate.
Here, teachers get to sit down and talk to you on a personal level. They're not just your teacher, but they're also your mentor.
It was different, for sure. It felt a lot more personable, even within a week of going here.
I would say that the difference is the education plans, the way that they're able to kind of individualize each student's journey here.
By the time July rolls around, I'll have a degree from U of M. Ideally, I would be working in research, but also helping with implementation of global health practices.
I graduated at 16 and I applied to the University of Michigan and I was accepted at 17 and I just graduated in 2023 with my bachelor's in accounting with a minor in economics. And I am going back for my master's. I'm working on my master's for accounting, master's in the science of accounting. I work full-time for Illich Sports and Entertainment.
As a student at Harbor, you feel very seen. And you can tell that all of the teachers want you to succeed.
Harbor taught me so much in 4 years that I honestly don't think I would be the same person today whatsoever had Harbor not been around.
Because they truly care, and you can feel that as a student. And when you are struggling just to graduate high school, sometimes that's what you need.
I was testing you.
difference is so immense. That community feeling that we're in this together. It's something that Harbor did so well, is that every student is willing to go that extra step for the other students, not just because students here are great, but because the culture of Harbor is that a teacher's willing to go an extra step.
And that's what I would want to tell the kids at Harbor too, past and present, of like, it's okay to deviate from that. Like, there is nobody telling you that you have to follow this strict path.
The whole beginning of my story is so difficult, and it felt so unattainable to become someone successful. And I had to grow and grow and grow and grow, and Harbor really pushed that growth. Without Harbor, I don't think I would have been able to grow and blossom like I did.
Alternative schools are so helpful, and students need them, you know? Like, you're cutting out a portion of kids that, you know, maybe they don't like being in a group of 35 students. You know, maybe their anxiety doesn't handle that well.
What is Harbor to me? It was this place where I learned how to be myself.
Yeah, you can clap. That was good. So, Mr. President, members of the Board of Education, Huron Valley Schools really prides itself on being a AAA school district, focusing on the arts, on the athletics, on the academics. We offer comprehensive programming, including an alternative setting for our students that find that setting more valuable than perhaps the traditional setting. And I think just the road to success that we saw in these two young people is evidence of what the Huron Valley Schools provides for its students and its community. And with that, thank you, Mr. President. That concludes my remarks this evening.
Thank you very much for your comments, questions, and thank you once again for sharing our jewel, which is our alternative high school. We certainly are a comprehensive school district with 4 high schools that really provide the needs for all of our students, which is our mission, which is our vision. So thank you very much. With that, student leadership, Mr. Baker, Paul Baker, Lakeland High School.
So I'm just here to discuss the recent happenings at Lakeland. And first off, I want to highlight our recent 8th grade expo, which I believe was a great success. Because obviously high school is a big stepping stone for these kids, and it's great that we get to introduce them to the school, walk them around, give them familiar faces to know for the next years. Because a lot of our leadership classes are juniors, and those are the kids they'll be looking up to in a year. Furthermore, we just had Lakeland DECA go off, and I believe that was a great success with many of our students succeeding. Miss Rubin does a great job heading our DECA program, and I just wanted to highlight that. Furthermore, I feel like recently we've really highlighted our AAA method because we've had a lot of success, especially in the arts, some athletics. Our girls basketball team won districts and the LVC hockey, not to toot the own horn, but went to the state semifinals. That was a pretty fun experience. It's nice to know that we just have a culture of people who just want to succeed, and all the teachers were super supportive of all of us and helping us with what we need. Furthermore, I just wanted to highlight the bond because I wanted to say, as a student and someone who's gone to HVS my whole life, I just want to say that I'm strongly voting yes, because even though I won't be seeing the effects of the bond, the things that HVS have done for me the last 13 years of my life is something that I could never be more appreciative of. The school system has been so supportive for me. It just really helped me succeed. Every single year, I feel like I have teachers that just really are rooting for my success in my administration. And I feel like our board just does a great job just caring about our students. So I know our school's really been promoting the vote yes, so I hope all my seniors will follow my lead and vote yes as well, because even though we won't see the effects of it, it's really important that the next generation of students like me entering kindergarten wide-eyed just they get the treatment that I was able to, and just more improvement. That's all, because we know that strong schools equal a strong community. So that's just my remarks, and that's it. Any questions?
Questions, comments to Paul? Yes, Lindsay.
Paul, I just have a comment. I've sat in this seat on the board for many years, and it's only been in recent years that our students, leadership students, have come forward to share with us. And I want you to know how meaningful that is to hear it from the kids. So thank you for giving up a little bit of your time tonight, and know that we appreciate you coming and everything that you're doing.
Yeah, no problem.
Good luck to you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Any other comments? I will also say that our Teaching and Learning Technology Committee that meets on a regular basis has representatives from our various high schools that sit in, and we value your input, your insight. It's priceless. At the same time, Paul, you're being very modest as it relates to achievements. For those of you that don't know Paul, we could say that the puck stops here with him. All right, he was the goalie for Lakeland High School that for the first time in their history made it all the way to the Final Four, and that's quite an accomplishment. And I won't share, one of the greatest highlights was your win in the semifinals for regionals. You made my day. So, but thank you for representing Lakeland High School in Huron Valley. Our future is bright with students like yourself, so thank you for your leadership.
Thank you very much.
At the same time, I know Jennifer won't mind this. I know she's up on the podium next, but I know Bryce and Paul, school starts early for you tomorrow. You won't hurt anybody's feelings if you would like to leave, but you certainly are more than welcome to stay for the entire meeting. So I leave that up to you guys, okay? All right.
Have a good day. Thank you.
I just can't follow this. You know, it's just so unfair. Have a good night. I am talking about your amazing teachers, so. Good evening. I hope everyone enjoyed the early spring weather last week. But we only have 4 more wake-ups before spring break, and the year is truly flying by. Tonight, I want to recognize our 3 educators who received the Teacher of the Year award this past week. We have over 500 educators in Huron Valley, all of whom have exceptional skills and a depth of knowledge within their subject areas. It's always a challenge for our principals and buildings to pick one outstanding teacher out of so many excellent choices. Previously, I've discussed the winners and their accomplishments. However, this year, I wanted you to hear directly from the HVEA executive board members who have the privilege of working directly with these teachers to observe how they positively impact their school staff and students. This year's elementary teacher of the year is Michelle Bickle. Michelle is a 2nd grade teacher at Johnson Elementary. Rachel Francis, HVEA executive board member, who is our elementary level rep, also works at Johnson. She expressed that Michelle has been the welcoming face to educators for so many years at Johnson. Rachel highlighted that Michelle is the first one to pitch in or to support others in any situation. And her dedication is inspiring and lucky to everyone who is lucky enough to be around her. Our middle school teacher of the year is Anthony Mango from White Lake. Tony is a social studies teacher who is greatly admired by his colleagues. Natalie Moore, HVEA executive board member as our grievance chair, says that Tony is so much more than a teacher. He is a great mentor and role model for his fellow peers. Natalie continues by saying that Tony is very passionate about his craft, and his excitement is contagious to staff and students. And finally, our high school teacher of the year is Jennifer Grubb. Jennifer is a special education teacher right here at Milford who teaches one of our categorical self-contained classes. I get to be the lucky person to share about Jen. As a social worker and HVEA president, I knew that my special education students transitioning from middle school into Jen's world would be loved, respected, and cared for. but they would also be challenged as they would grow their academics and their social skills. Each year I observed Jen mentoring all of our other special education teachers around the district, and she is a tremendous advocate for the needs of our educators, our para-educators, and our students. One of the things that I admire most about HVS educators is their willingness to mentor each other and to be a huge support for our newer educators as they grow and learn to develop their craft. These 3 Teachers of the Year definitely shine a positive light on our district as mentors, as teachers, but most of all, as kind-hearted individuals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do know that many of the board members tonight had an opportunity to visit those classrooms during the presentations, and while it certainly was joyful and a surprise for those teachers, the pride that the students displayed was enormous in the applause that they receive. I think every day our teachers should face, every one of our teachers should get that type of applause when they walk into the classroom, and even a greater applause at the end of the day for everything that they do and everything they meet. So thank you very much, Jennifer. Next, board correspondence. Secretary Pastana, any board correspondence?
No correspondence this evening.
Thank you. Treasurer Grzymkowski, Treasurer's report.
No report this evening.
Thank you. Next, reports from board committees. Executive Committee. The Executive Committee met on March 12th, 2024 at 12:30 p.m. at the Huron Valley School Administration Building. Present were myself, along with Member Pastana, Member Dodd, Dr. Slaw, and Ms. Cadell. There were no public comments. Part of the agenda for that meeting was the regular agenda that's before us today. We had a discussion. School safety, we had a little bit of a discussion as it relates to school safety and the great work that we're doing on a daily basis to provide a safe and secure environment for our students. The 2024 bond initiative, Dr. Slaw gave us an update regarding his March 7th, 2024 meeting with the Lakeland Choir Boosters. We discussed current needs for that program and plans for updates going forward. Dr. Slaw is also meeting as it relates to concerns that were expressed regarding the Lakeland High School stage and overall plans for the 24 bond issue raised by that boosters at that meeting. Board procedures, the committee shared their progress to the date on the board procedures. We'll continue to meet monthly to work on completing these board procedures in a timely fashion. Governance standards that you have before you in the board packet tonight. A draft of the governance standards and resolution was shared with the committee again and will be posted at the board meetings after and if it is adopted by the board. Other items, Member Dodd shared her positive comments regarding the Harbor High School video that was recently shared on social media, that was shared tonight by Dr. Slaw. And Dr. Slaw requested a change, and it's been communicated to you as it relates to the June board meeting schedule. Namely, the request included a change in the June 2024 meeting and moved that to June 17th, 2024. The committee was supportive, and Ms. Cadell was agreed to communicate that with the remainder of the board. The adjournment occurred at 1:46, and the next meeting is April 30th, 2024 at 12:30 p.m. With that, could I have the TLT committee report?
Sure. TLT met on March 5th at the Administration Building. It was called to order at 4:35. Present were myself, Mr. Dimick, Mr. Wiseman, Mr. Tavernier, Ms. Thompson, Ms. Bjorkman, Dr. Nemeth, let's see, Mr. Endicott, and our representative from Harbor, Michael. There were no public comments. Regular agenda items, we discussed the extended COVID-19 learning plan. Yes, it's still around. The district is required to update the Board of Ed and post on its transparency page the updated extended return to learn plan as part of state and federal grants. Updated learning plans are posted and available at hvs.org. Mr. Tavernier shared the first section of administrative guidelines in the 2000 series related to district programs. Our technology services team continues to implement a comprehensive and layered approach to supporting secure network operations. One aspect highlighted was the review of security information and event management data that is collected, analyzed, and acted upon when necessary. Mr. Endicott also shared that our high school technology interns will again be partnering with the Highland Township Senior Center to provide technology support and assistance for members of our community. That's a great opportunity for both students and the community. Student leadership, Michael from Harbor shared a brief update on activities, including a fundraising can drive. He also shared the end of the second trimester has arrived and students were preparing for their exams. We discussed the bond initiative. Many presentations have continued across the district with information. There was no consent agenda. And the other was the technology purchase as part of the planned summer refresh. The district plans to replace Chromebooks and desktop computers. It is anticipated that 1,800 Chromebooks and approximately 400 desktop computers. It was recommended by the TLT committee that this be forwarded to finance for information and will appear as new business tonight on the regular agenda. We adjourned at 5:05 and our next meeting is tomorrow, March 19th at 4:30.
Thank you very much. Finance and Operations?
Finance and Operations met on Wednesday, March 13th at 8:05 in the Administration Building. Present were Mr. Wiseman, myself, Ms. Pastana graciously stepped in, Dr. Salah, Mr. Van Gotham, Mr. Reeby, Ms. Kerrigan, Ms. Mareskin, Ms. Timberlake, Mr. Maxwell from Clark, and Mr. Weinrock from TMP. We had public comment. Brenda Presky was asked to clarify some clarifying questions regarding the Lakewood ASD playground and general fund percentages. She thanked the committee for allowing her to attend. Brenda, we thank you as well. Review of minutes. We reviewed the previous minutes, including the board notes from 3:15. We did not have any consent agenda items to review. We do have some unfinished business. Tonight, we bring to you the high school furnishings bid pack 9, phase 2. The committee had no further questions regarding the recommendation letter from TMP dated February 21st. This project is funded from the 2023 Capital Projects Fund. Administration will seek approval tonight. The Lakeland High School remediation, the committee had no further questions regarding the contract awarded to Qualified Abatement Services, as noted on Nova Environmental, Inc. recommendation letter that was received February 26th. This project is funded also through the 2023 Capital Projects Fund. Again, this will also be, we will be asked to approve this evening as well. We did look at several new business items, including bus purchases. The committee reviewed the purchase of 7 general education, yes, yellow buses, Ms. Cotter, diesel engine buses in the amount of $143,000, almost $144,000 from Midwest Transit Corporation, plus $125 per bus to MSBO Cooperative Bus Purchasing Program for a total purchase price of $1,008,658. DVRs and cameras will also be purchased as part of that bond schedule. This project is funded from the 2023 Capital Projects Fund. Administration will seek approval at the April 15th board meeting. We also looked at the competitive pool scoreboard purchase. The committee reviewed the attached pricing from Daktronics to supply and install the competitive pool digital displays at each high school in the amount of $148,000, with a painting allowance of $5,000 and a 12% contingency in the amount of $17,760 for a total purchase price of $170,760. This project will be funded through the 2023 Capital Projects Fund, and we will be looking to approve this April 15th. Timekeeping and attendance system. The committee reviewed the purchase of Time Clock Plus from Power Schools Group, LLC, in the amount of $155,000 for the period of April 5th, 2024 through January 30th of 2025, with ongoing annual fees of $47,000, subject to an annual 3% uplift for January 1st, 2025 through June 30th of 2027. This project will be funded through the general fund and special revenue funds. The administration will seek approval at the April 15th board meeting. Bogey Lake Campus Powerhouse Bulletin. Yeah, we got a lot on the calendar tonight. The committee reviewed the contract changes ordered and as noted by Clark Construction, letter of recommendation dated March 8th, totaling $161,234 plus general conditions of 2% in the amount of $15,000 and contingency of 12% in the amount of $91,000 for a total of $867,807. This project will be funded from the 2023 Capital Projects Fund. And the administration is seeking approval April 15th. We also reviewed Lakewood's ASD playground, ASD Autism Spectrum Disorder. The committee reviewed the quote from Snyder Recreation to supply new playground structures at Lakewood Elementary in the amount of $69,448 with a 12% contingency in the amount of about $8,000 for a total of $78,000. This project will be funded from the 2023 Capital Projects Fund, and the administration will seek approval on April 15th. We also talked about the computer purchase, which is a purchase of laptops based on the RIMC contract in the amount not to exceed $750,000. The funds for this purchase are included in the 2020 Bond Series 2 budget. Administration is seeking approval on April 15th. Safety and security updates. BTAM, I'm not really sure what that one stands for, sorry, Laura. Training is scheduled for April 3rd as part of our formalized process to continue to educate our psychologists and social workers, and it's being offered by Oakland Schools. In addition, we had construction updates from Clark Construction for bid pack 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We were provided with contingency and updates. We also reviewed 2024 bond. Dr. Salah met with the choir boosters, and they voiced their needs and concerns for the choir room. TMP, Dr. Salah, and Mr. Van Gotham had a follow-up meeting on Thursday. Administration met with district CPA crew and drew up a plan going forward. Discussions regarding robotics and CTE were also discussed, as providing programming for all kids is part of our continuous improvement plan. Our master plan provides the opportunity. We looked at the January 31st, 2024 general fund budget to actual report. This committee reviewed the general fund budget to actual as of January 31st, and there were no concerns. The business office continues to monitor function levels throughout the year. We did not have any future discussion items, and our meeting adjourned at 9:27 a.m. Our next meeting is scheduled for April 10th at 8 a.m. I hope you join us.
Thank you very much. There wasn't any future items because we covered them all at this meeting.
Pretty much.
Next, communications, marketing, and legislation.
We have not had a meeting, but I did have an opportunity to look it up, Amy. It's Behavior Threat Assessment Management, BTAM. Our next meeting is tomorrow at 2:30 at the administration building.
Thank you very much. Public comments. I don't believe we have any. I don't think our audience wants to comment on anything right now either. So with that, we'll go on to consent agenda. We have 3 exhibits, A1, A2, and A3. Could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, I'll move to adopt the consent agenda as written.
All right, we have a motion. Could I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Member Cotter, seconded by Member Griswonkowski. Any questions or any concerns? Seeing none, could I have a roll call?
Ms. Cotter,
Yes.
Ms. Griswonkowski,
Yes.
Ms. Ryan,
Yes.
Ms. Dodd,
Yes.
Mr. Dimick.
Yes.
I am a yes. Mr. Wiseman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next on the agenda is unfinished business. These 3 items were presented at our last Board of Education meeting. First item is high school furnishings, bid pack 9, phase 2. I'd like to take a motion and a second, and then we'll open up the discussion if there is any.
Sure. I'll move that we approve the high school furnishings BP 9 Phase 2 as presented.
Motion made by Member Dodd, seconded by Member Cotter. Before we have a roll call, is there any questions, any clarifications? Dr. Slot, did you receive any questions over the last 2 weeks regarding this package?
I have not. Mr. Van Gotham, have you received any questions? No.
Seeing none and seeing no questions, could I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Cotter?
Yes.
Ms. Grisomkowski?
Yes.
I am a yes. Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
Mr. Dimick?
Yes.
And Mr. Wiseman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next, Exhibit C, Lakeland High School remediation. Do I have a motion? Motion made by Member Pastana and seconded by Member Dimick. Any questions or comments? I didn't even allow Member Pastana to do the motion. Would you like to read the motion?
It's okay. Either way, sure. I'll make the motion for the Lakeland High School remediation Exhibit C.
Thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. I see no questions or comments. Could I have a roll call, please?
Sure. I'm a yes. Mr. Dimick?
Yes.
Ms. Grisomkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Cotter?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
And Mr. Wiseman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Next, C is Board Governance Standards and Resolution, Exhibit D. I just want to take a moment to go over this once again. I want to thank our Board of Governance, our Board of Education, that's being presented the standards tonight. This is used by our district and our own individual school board members. These standards have been developed by us as our school board to provide a framework for effective school district governance. By design, these standards are in simple terms so that they're easily understood and promote understanding across the board table and throughout our entire community. I know we've talked a lot about what makes school boards effective. We're a team of 8, and I have 8 bullet points. What makes a school board effective? Commitment to a vision of high expectations for student achievement. 2, a strong shared belief and values of what is possible for students. 3, are accountability driven. 4, have a collaborative relationship with staff and community. Are data savvy. Align and sustain resources to meet district goals. Lead as a united team with our superintendent, and take part in team development and training. And that is obvious because I know we're finalizing this, but for the first time, I believe in our board history, that we are a honor board. I think it's reflective of that whole idea of team development and training. We all are certified, which is quite a process. I'm going through 9 basic classes as it relates to board governance, along with a variety of other classes that are offered. So I do congratulate you in making this happen for the first time in Huron Valley history. With that, I would like, before we take a motion, for Secretary Pastana to read the board resolution for the adoption of the Board of Education Governance Standards. Normally, we do not do this, but I think it's important for our community to know what we believe in, not only as a board, but as individuals. And after that, we'll have a motion, a second discussion, and then a vote. So with that, Secretary Pastana.
Board resolution for the adoption of the Board of Education governance standards. Whereas many years of research on school district leadership has proven a correlation exists between the work of school boards and student achievement. And whereas school boards in high-achieving districts exhibit characteristics and practices that differ greatly from those in lower-achieving school districts, regardless of socioeconomic status. And whereas the Board of Education of Huron Valley Schools is committed to governing the district in a manner that creates high achievement and positive outcomes for students. And now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Huron Valley Schools adopts the Board of Education governance standards, and in doing so, the Board of Education of Huron Valley Schools commits to conducting itself in a manner consistent with the Board of Education governance standards. And individual members of the Huron Valley Schools Board of Education commit to conducting themselves in a manner consistent with the individual board members' standards. And the Board of Education of Huron Valley Schools shall ensure the Board of Education governance standards are visible at every meeting. And the Board of Education of Huron Valley Schools shall visit and revisit the Board of Education governance standards regularly to ensure that ensure their continued influence in the board's work. And the Board of Education of Huron Valley Schools shall hold itself accountable to these standards, and individual members of the Huron Valley Schools Board of Education shall address behaviors that are not in alignment with the governance standards.
Thank you, Member Pastana. Do I have a motion to accept this resolution that reflects the 4 governor standards that we discussed before, and then the 4 individual school board member governance standards? Do I have
I'll make the motion to adopt the governance standards.
all right, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll support that.
All right. Do I have any comments or questions as it relates to this? Yes, Member Cotter.
Just one comment. I want to thank our exec board for the time they took to put that together for us. It's been a long time coming, and I think it reads excellent. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate the comment, but this was a work done by all 8 of us, and it's reflective of our beliefs. So, yes, Member Dodd.
I think the thing that's really important and that I'm really proud of this board for is we all came to this table and continue to come to this table or tables with our own viewpoints, our own friends, our own social circles, our own groups of folks who really are invested in what we're doing here. But that we can come together and we can say, these are the things we all agree on. And every time we come together, regardless of what we're bringing with us, this is what we're going to do. There's a lot of boards that can't even agree on that. So I'm super proud of us for not only agreeing on this, but being proactive about it, being supportive of it. And even when we don't always agree on everything, we're responsible, we're collegial. I think we're really demonstrating what can be done when you take the time and you build relationships and you learn who people are and where they're coming from and how you can do something really functional together. So I just want to thank my colleagues here for getting together and doing this. It makes it much more pleasant to be a member of this board, knowing that we all care about working together.
Thank you for your comments. Any other comments? Seeing none, could I have a roll call, please?
I am a yes. Ms. Cotter?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Mr. Dimick?
Yes.
Ms. Grzymkowski?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
Mr. Wiseman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much, Board of Education. Next, new business. We have a number of items, A through F. Amy went through quite a few of them that were discussed at Finance and Operations and then also at Exec. So I'm going to start off with A, and Dr. Salah, you can just work us through.
We're going to start with Mr. Taverner will handle the computer purchase.
All right, good evening. So as both Ms. Pastana and Ms. Grzymkowski reported in the committee reports, we are looking to refresh several computers this summer. So this is part of the plan back in 2019 with the bond proposal, and that is to replace technology. We are looking this summer to replace approximately 400 desktop computers, which are primarily used as classroom teacher computers in the classroom office and some of our ancillary staff. We are also looking to replace student Chromebooks. We have about 600 Chromebooks that are in need of replacement as part of our one-to-one program. Every 8th grader actually gets a new Chromebook. So when we do that every year, so they'll 8th graders get a new Chromebook and they actually keep that through 12th grade. And then we recycle those Chromebooks for 6th and 7th graders from the elementary school so that they have an opportunity in 6th and 7th grade, get experience with it, and then they get a new Chromebook in 8th grade. So about 600 new Chromebooks for our 8th graders, and then we also have a need to replace about 1,200 of the elementary Chromebooks in the carts that we have in our elementary classrooms. So The state of Michigan provides a device purchasing program every summer through the REMC competitive bid process. So as we put this together, we didn't actually have the pricing that just was released last week. So that's why you see this exhibit written as not to exceed. So we wanted to bring this to the board now, so we have an opportunity to answer any questions, but we would be looking for board approval at the April 15th meeting, and we will update the pricing since we now have that in. We will build also some contingency into that in case we have any fluctuations in enrollment and in the needs of numbers, but happy to answer any questions you may have now, and Mr. Endicott is here as well.
All of the new business items, this is first read, so we'll have the next 2 weeks to ask any questions of administration. I think our next board meetings, it's actually more than 2 weeks. It's April 15th. So if you have anything that you'd like to ask at this time, it would be appropriate. If not, you have a period of time to review the documentation and ask questions of administration. Yes, Amy?
So just to clarify, the 3-boxer that we have right now, the Chromebook pricing of $215 plus a $35 licensing fee, that is the accurate amount, or is that the old REMC pricing?
That is the old pricing, so we wrote that as we knew it wouldn't exceed that. So I do have the new pricing. I can share that with the board. I'll put that in notes so that you have that for preparation of the April 15th meeting.
Thank you so much.
Anything else at this time? Seeing none, bus purchases. Dr. Slav?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The next several, including bus purchases, will be Mr. Van Gotham.
So as you heard from Ms. Grisomkowski, I think she did a really good job explaining the next 5 items. First one is bus purchases, and as she mentioned, we're asking for consideration of 7 additional general ed buses. For the community to know, we actually had approved about 50 buses in our bond application several years ago, and so we've tried to continue based on needs. This would bring our purchase up to 27 new buses since the summer of 2020, and so I take that back from 2019 forward, and so we're happy to bring this before the board. We did receive some questions from one board member. Those questions were put in board notes with answers to support that, and so if there are additional questions, happy to take those, and again, we're looking to see this approval on April 15th.
Okay. Any questions at this time? Yes, Laura?
I have one question, happy to receive answer about it later, but Amy mentioned DVRs on the buses, and I was wondering if that's the latest technology, because I know it's not at home, or if, what exactly we're looking at there. Because obviously, cameras are important to be able to document what's happening on the buses, but if DVRs are as good as we can do, or if there's something else we could do that might be a little bit more 2024.
So I can tell you that most of them are still under that type of technology, and the transportation department is looking at a couple alternatives for go forward, and those would probably be something we would introduce in the next couple months, and probably more appropriate for like July going forward as far as ordering.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, Lindsay?
Yeah, I was just amazed when I was reading through the documents regarding the purchase of the buses. I mean, I know what it's like to go buy a new car and you pick your package, and this was so detailed. There were pages and pages of options available on our buses, and I think our staff did a nice job of picking out the new fleet. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, you have until April 15th. Directed towards questions to Jeffrey, Dr. Slav? Through you?
Yeah, both of us is fine.
Thank you. Next is competitive pool school boards purchases. Jeffrey?
So as you know, as a part of the bond program, again, $182 million, there was an allocation of $150,000 each for Milford and Lakeland High Schools for updated digital scoreboards throughout the campuses, and so this is one of those particular items. We had some challenges in the past with humidity in our competitive pools. We have since corrected that through additional bond purchases, and so now we feel comfortable having some updated technology in our competitive pool spaces. This is actually part of a a previous bid that we did through the district in our cooperative consortium program that we have with Max Service Corps. And so we are buying off of our own contract and again, looking to have this approved on tax day, April 15th.
Questions? Seeing none, next is, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just that this was a hot ticket item that came up at the open house meeting we had recently. So I know there's going to be a lot of outside people. We think of our scoreboards and we think about the community, and just they really do appreciate the little things, like, not that it's little, but these things mean a lot outside the school as well. So definitely cool.
And I'll just ask this question, why are we waiting so long for the scoreboards? I mean, this was part of a process, wasn't it? We had to correct some things before we actually purchased the
Right.
scoreboard.
So probably between 6 months and a year ago is when we started purchasing scoreboards through our bond program and through our actual application, but we were just making sure that we had some improvements that were done in the pool over the last 18 to 24 months, and we were really making sure that those improvements held true, because in our time here, at least in my time with the district, we've had challenges for several years. So again, being good stewards of taxpayer dollars, we did not think it was wise for us to invest in these spaces from a technology standpoint until we were very confident, actually over a 2-year period, that we have corrected the challenges that had behooved us prior to this purchase.
So bottom line, we wanted to do this in a timely fashion, but we wanted to correct some other conditions so that we did it right.
Correct.
All right. Next, timekeeping and attendance system.
So this is actually done again through the work of several employees in the district, but this is actually a program that's supported through Oakland Schools, our ISD partner, and several districts in our county, including us, appropriately would like to use this software for time and attendance. It's going to come with new time clocks and a more updated system that'll be able to be matched in with our ID program, where our hourly employees will be able to swipe in and swipe out when they're in throughout the days. And so we have a very strong payroll program, but this will actually help us gain some efficiencies, and it's more of the normal standard now. And we're kind of, to Laura's point, we're kind of backdated in how we do some of our payroll procedures. So this will help us modernize our system and bring us up to speed. And it works with our current HR and accounting software, so it'll basically integrate with those programs, and it'll gain a lot of efficiency for the teams that are working on those services for the district.
Questions? Laura?
I know from an HR standpoint, this can make a really positive impact on accuracy, quality, all of that sort of stuff. And the fact that it integrates with everything, really important. So, well done.
Thank you. Any other comments? Next, we have Bogey Lake Campus Powerhouse Bulletin, Exhibit I.
So if the board recalls, approximately 4 months ago, we had the approval of a chiller purchase for the cooling unit at the Bogey Lake campus, which serves 3 different buildings. And this is actually some of the additional work that has to take place at that powerhouse where this cooling tower takes place. It's going to include new paint on the exterior and interior. We did have photos of the shape that the painting currently is, and which is really, just to be fair, dismal. And so there's a pretty big allocation for paint. We have roof, bathroom accessories, lighting. So we actually have this bulletin that was provided by Clark Construction. So we're asking the board again on April 15th to consider this approval for just under $870,000. And this will be funded from the 2023 Capital Projects Fund.
Any questions? Seeing none, please review that. If you have any questions, please pass them on to Dr. Slough. Next, Exhibit J, Lakewood ASD Playground.
And so for our ASD population at Lakewood, they have been using the kindergarten playground right now. And so while that was in pretty good shape as a result of the bond program, we had allocated some dollars for some of our specials programs that we needed included the ASD program, and so this is just follow-up. We had this is another project that we bid out, I think about 18 months ago, and we did a big round of purchases last summer for some of our playgrounds, and now we're doubling back on this particular playground for Lakewood. We still have some additional work to do at some of our other elementary schools, but are starting with this one, and so we're asking the board to consider this purchase price of about $70,000, which will be real beneficial to this particular group of students who will benefit from this, and it'll also be something that our other children will also have access to, but particularly reaching out here for the ASD community with this purchase.
Lindsay?
Yes, I just wanted to, did our staff and students have an opportunity to help select this playground equipment?
So I think staff perspective, yes. Lindsay, I don't
Okay.
know that our students actually had a big say
Part
in
of
that.
it. Yeah, they're young. Okay, good. Mrs. Pastana and I have had an opportunity to review some of the equipment we've purchased most recently.
Any other comments or questions? ASD, once again, it's an acronym. What does ASD stand for?
Autism spectrum disorder.
Okay, and you did mention this was at Lakewood, but we also have ASD programs at other elementary schools. What are we doing for them?
So we're actually waiting on our service provider to come provide quotes for those spaces as well. That's what I had said when I previously spoke about it, that we still have some additional work to do at those elementary schools for some of our special programs that we have here in the district, and we're just waiting on finalizing some additional orders. We did not want to hold up Lakewood because we did receive a quote on that particular set, and we're working with our service provider to complete additional programs. We have an EI program. We have obviously some additional ASD spaces, but the goal is to have all of those done this summer, and I expect at our April 10th Finance and Operations Committee that we'll have additional information, and we as the F&O committee like to provide this board with lots of new business on a weekly basis, so that'll be our job for next meeting.
Great, thank you. And I see that this is through our co-op, so other school districts can piggyback onto this bid, and it's a revenue stream possibly for Huron Valley schools.
Correct. So the competitive pool scoreboards is part of our co-op program, and other districts have the ability to buy from that, as well as the ASD playground. When you think about the powerhouse, that's really a one-off for our particular powerhouse, and we have made an attempt to have buses be a part of our co-op, and just haven't had success in that space yet. We're kind of hoping with the the electric bus movement that we might be able to get in on the ground floor there, and we're still working through some of those pieces. But the MSBO bus purchasing program, which is the Michigan School Business Officials, is still kind of the lead on that, if you will.
And I think it's important to note, we as a school district have invented our own co-op, and we go through a lot of work as it relates to putting together specs and getting out for bid, and then we publicize that through our MAC Corporation partnership so that other districts don't have to go through all the various steps that we've gone through, and then they can basically take our bids and award those contracts, meeting the requirements of the state. And as I said before, it's a revenue stream for us, for anybody that might use that. So it's a great partnership. It's not something that school districts usually undertake because it requires a lot of work. And I appreciate Jeffrey, along with his staff, staying on top of this, because it's something that's evolved over the years. So it's an important piece. Any other comments or questions? I do want to point out that under this new business, A through F, there's 6 items. 5 of them, the funding comes out of our bond issue. These are 5 must-haves to be a comprehensive school district. If we didn't have the bond issue, we wouldn't have these items, or would come out of that other pot of money, which is our general fund, which we use 85% of it for the people that provide services to our school district. So either we have a choice, if we didn't have a bond issue, less services for our kids, or these items not available. And the thing that really pops out, 2 items, computers and buses. We have to get the kids to school. Costs money to have buses. All right? The bond issue provides us the wherewithal to purchase those buses. If we didn't, we wouldn't be able to provide transportation, or the money could have to come out of the general fund, which means less money for people. The other one is, unbeknownst to us when we passed the last bond issue, that we were going to have a worldwide pandemic. And we went one-on-one Chromebooks for all of our students, and we accelerated that process because it was a have to. It was a have to. If we didn't pass that bond issue, we wouldn't have been able to do that, or we would have less people to provide the services for our people. That's why it's so important that we have continuous improvement. That's why we have bond issues, because it's two pots of money. We can't use it for salaries or benefits, bond issue items. But if these have-tos, if we don't have that pot of money, it comes out of that general fund, and that means less money for people, and we provide those services with our people. So it's extraordinarily important. The computers alone were $750,000 roughly. We replace our computers every 5 years, or 20% or roughly, right? That's not including our laptops. That's really just our Chromebooks. So $750,000. If we didn't have that bond issue, we wouldn't continue to be one-on-one, or our students wouldn't have the technology that they need to be successful, whether it be in the elementary schools, whether it be in the middle schools, or whether it be in the high schools in the area of literature, quite frankly, the arts, and in our CTE robotics type programs. All of those things are integrated. So I just think it's extraordinarily important to keep on telling people that I don't know where we would be if our voters didn't approve that last bond issue. And I just want to once again thank our citizens for supporting the school district. And I, as a board member, can also say it's extraordinarily important for our community to continue supporting our school district. And please be informed of what this bond issue means to every kid in our district and what it means to our community to stay competitive. So with that, any other public comments? Seeing none, good and welfare. Yes, Member Pastana.
Sorry, I have three things tonight. First one is those of us attended Oakland County School Board meeting in Pontiac on March 6th, and we got a CTE presentation. Fantastic. It was really, really good, wasn't it? Yeah, I think we all enjoyed it. And I want to say congratulations. Is that me? I want to say congratulations to Mrs. Miller and her students on the Pops concert. We got to see it on Saturday afternoon, and as usual, they were fantastic. It's really good. And then this is this is from this morning. I was at a district parent council meeting this morning. Lots of good conversation. Jeffrey was there to give the budget update, which he's always so good at, and he made it sound so exciting on a Monday morning. Everybody was enthralled with it. But you know what? And I was remiss of not saying something this morning, so that's why I'm saying it now. They talked about the increase in the transportation categorical, the fact that we got one. And listen, I just want to shout out to Paul, because this was really when he came into the district, he talked about it. And it was so important when you were explained about how kids in smaller districts walk to school, but all the miles that we, transfer our kids. And so anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to Paul, and thank you, you were instrumental in helping that happen for our district, and that was really important. So thank you.
That's a good term. We call you a lot of things, Mr. Superintendent, Dr. Superintendent, but tenacious, that's a good one. I like that. Maybe we should get a T-shirt. Huh? That'd be great. Lindsay.
Yes, I want to thank, first I want to thank my board president. I want to thank our superintendent, Heather. I want to thank you, and I want to thank our COAT team, because I rarely miss a board meeting. And I did take an absence at our last meeting, but I want you to know, because of your work, my Friday notes, our board packet, and I must admit I tuned in 2 weeks ago on Monday. Thank you. I didn't miss a beat. Everything I was familiar with when we went through our board agenda tonight. And because of your communication with your board, I think that really helps us do a good job. So thank you for all your time and effort. It really does make a difference.
The only thing you didn't bring was the warm weather that you were experiencing. So we try to do our part. You failed in bringing the warm weather to us. How about working on that, all right? Any other comments, questions?
Are you going to do sports? I wasn't going to do sports. I actually had something else.
Ooh, I'll do sports. Okay. Sports. Thanks to Ms. Rothler, who consolidated all of the sports excitement that we've been having. I'm happy to report just, Paul Baker talked about it a little bit. We gave Paul a little bit of love. But the Lakeland girls basketball were district champions, and they went to the semifinals and did their best. Milford boys basketball district champions also went to the semifinals. Milford varsity competitive cheer made it through districts, lost at the regionals by less than a point. Lakeland hockey made it to the Final Four. We talked about Paul Baker, so I'm not going to say it again. Coach Ronan was awarded Division II Hockey Coach of the Year for the entire state. Huron Valley Boys Swim and Dive State Championship. Overall finished 18th. Milford Junior Brendan Marshall earned individual state medals for freestyle and butterfly. Those are two really hard ones. Huron Valley United Gymnastics State Championships and placed 12th. Individual performances for junior Sophia Stankov earned 6th place in the vault, and Lakeland sophomore Kennedy Foote placed 14th in beam. Milford senior Carly B. Was named the Senior Athlete of the Year out of all the schools in Michigan and was awarded a scholarship. 2 Huron Valley wrestlers made their way to the MHSAA Individual Wrestling State Finals. Sophomore Andre Newman and Camila Filder both competed in the Division I State Championship in early March. Milford boys and girls snow border cross are MHSAA state champions, 3rd year in a row for the boys. Lakeland girls border cross also made it to states and placed 4th overall. I didn't know there was enough snow to even do that this winter, but that's not the thing. Milford girls and boys and Lakeland girls ski teams competed in the state championship, where the boys placed 7th and girls placed 6th. Lakeland girls placed 9th. LHS had 3 bowlers qualify for MHSAA state finals. Tori McLaughlin, Madison Reed, and Savannah Reed competed at the MHSAA Individual Bowling Championships. This placed all 3 girls as the top 56 bowlers in the state. I don't get to talk about sports very much, but we had so much excitement going on, I felt like we needed to do that. The other thing I'll say, and I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, Amy, is the Huron Valley Council for the Arts has Huron Valley Schools Art Show happening right now. You can go and visit during any of their open hours, and the art is outstanding. So make a trip over there if you can.
Thank you very much. Amy?
So I had the opportunity to go to the Oak Valley Middle School choir concert this past week. And, I feel like I say this almost every board meeting, but I was so impressed with our teacher there, Mrs. Samuels. First of all, corralling middle schoolers, never easy. But this was also festival week. So she had a concert on Wednesday night and then had festival on Friday. And it was the first time they had participated in the festival. And as a former choir singer, I will tell you, she kind of pulled back the curtain on what they do in the classroom. And so we got to see them take a piece of music that they've never seen before, and they walked through the process of how they sight read music. Now, I can tell you this is not something I learned until I was in high school. These kids, 6th graders, 7th grade, 8th grade, they were not only sight reading the music, but they were sight reading the music in parts. I'm going to tell you, that is so tough. And the fact that they were able to do this, and she was able to bring out these skills from our kids, I'm telling you, I hugged her at the end as a parent, but also as a board member, because we sometimes forget the magic that happens in the classroom. What we got to see the magic that happens in the classroom. They did it on the stage for us, but it was beautiful. It was exactly what you want education to be. And so I was so impressed with Miss Samuels. And then just, all three choirs went on to get almost perfect scores in sight reading at the festival. In fact, they got ratings of excellence, which is the highest you can get. So well done to the Oak Valley Choir. I'm so proud of you. But Miss Samuels, thank you for bringing out the best in our students. You've created something really special, but also masterful. So well done. And then secondly, I just want to thank Barb and Kim for their work this week in the senior luncheon. They put together the senior luncheon, which not for our high school seniors, but for our community senior adults. And we had a really great turnout. They had a great meal from Chopsky's. It was a great opportunity for us to just give back to our community who really, these are the living legacy. This is the living legacy of our community. These are parents, they're grandparents, and they love Huron Valley. And so it was great to see some familiar faces. It was great to meet some new folks that I hadn't met yet. And just to be able to say thank you for all that they do in our community, and to say thank you for, building up Huron Valley. So those are my two.
Thank you, Amy. Any other comments? I just want to say, a week from today actually begins our winter break. So, we call it spring break?
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it spring break because there's still snow on the ground. All right? We'll call it spring break, though. Our spring break starts next Monday, all right? And it goes on that full week and then the following Monday. Well, yes, but I also want to say, be safe. I know a lot of our seniors are off having their senior trips. I know a lot of parents are going too, so they'll enjoy themselves watching over our kiddos. But this is a special time, a lot of memories, but please be safe, do the right thing, have fun, and we'll see you back after spring break. So with that, meeting's adjourned.